Welcome to the Two Ton Nerds. As always, my name is Max James. In this episode of the TTN Presents, I will be talking about my nerd bucket list and one event in particular. I was able to not check off this past weekend was going to my first ever convention of any kind, and it was the Indiana Comic Con. It was so much fun. Um, I've never been, and since it was in Indy, I wasn't quite sure how big it was going to be. I knew it was going to be in the Indiana Convention Center, and that place, I know it was big, but I've never been inside it, and it's huge. But I wasn't quite expecting what I was going to see there because it was the first ever Comic Con for that place, and I was expecting it to be kind of like only like 50 people will show up. That was kind of like my worst fear kind of thing. Like, oh, really? I wanted to see like tons of people. And it met my expectations after that. I mean, it is sold out like at noon or something like that. And it was just, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Um, where to begin? We went to bed way too late. We had to get up at like 5 o'clock. We went to bed like at 12, and we were all dragging by 5:30, but we made it out the door, and that's when it really kind of sunk in, is when we left the apartment to get in the car, like, yes, we're going to Comic-Con, and it was, and on the way up there, it actually was very well, no problems whatsoever. The traffic was actually surprisingly small. There's barely any cars on the road, which made the trip so much faster. Which seemed like a trip to Indy sometimes does seem like it drags on for years. And even the ride home from Indy, no problems there either. It was just smooth sailing, traveling wise. But once we finally got to the Comic Con, we had pretty decent parking. We had to walk a little bit, but it doesn't bother me none. Because I don't get to walk downtown Indy that much, or all that often actually, because that's like, I don't go to Indy all that often to begin with. So walking and seeing the sights was actually a nice, breath of fresh air, see a different city for once, besides here in old boring Carlisle and Sullivan. So we finally got the convention center, hang out at the mall for a little bit, to kill some time, and finally got there. We stood in line, which standing in line wasn't too bad because we actually kind of got to see the costumes, kind of walk in and kind of guess who they were, and have fun and talk and just have quite a bit of fun. And like the first thing that we got to see was the 1966 Batman mobile. Oh, the Adam West Batmobile. It was awesome. It was very shiny and everything I would have expected it to be. But we had our position in line was actually not too bad. We weren't front of the line, but we weren't definitely not at the tail end of the line, which allowed us to kind of, when we finally got in, able to kind of move around without actually having to bump shoulders with body check people, which was actually a very nice experience, not to be able to like bump into everybody. But later on in the day, when we kind of went back to the convention part after watching the panels, which was great, I got to see the person who plays the Black Canary in the Arrow TV show. I've not watched that show because all the stuff they were talking about was like over my head, and I'm like, what's going on? And I didn't care. I enjoyed it. Then we got to see Arya Stark, the girl who plays Arya Stark. Oh, she really got into the panel. She even kind of did some dance moves on the, or I think she just did a backflip. It was actually pretty cool, and really got into it. I missed the Scott Summers thing because I got lost. I went to the car because I bought something very early on in the con, which I will not be making that experience. What's it called? It's on top of my tongue. I won't be making that mistake again. I'll probably wait till tail end of the con to buy anything, so I'm not carrying something around all day. I got lost going back to the car, so I made like an entire loop around the mall before I figured out, hey, this is where I need to be, and so missed it But I came back, just sat down in the lobby and watched people take pictures with the various cosplayers, which was awesome. That's probably a real highlight of the day, as well as being able to watch everyone dress up, and there were some really good cosplayers. I think one of my favorite ones was Khaleesi. Someone was dressed up as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. She even had like a full dragon on her shoulder. I mean, I felt so sorry for her, but she was committed, and I give her props for that. Then I think my favorite costumes of the day was the Devil May Cry people. There was 3 of them who was dressed up as Virgil, Dante, and I'm drawing a blank on the girl that helps him throughout the reboot of Devil May Cry. I'm drawing a blank so bad, but they were all 3 there. That was a really nice, cohesive cosplaying team. It was very well done. Each of them really was really well done. And just walking around, my legs are killing me. Still, after 2 days after a day after, it's Monday, 2 days after Comic-Con, I walked. Oh, we all walked for what seemed like years, but it was really fun experience, and it also made the day was made more enjoyable because I got to spend it with people who had the same attitude going into this Comic-Con. It's like, we're excited. It's a new experience. It just, we don't know quite what to expect. It was just all the way around fun, and was able to spend it with some really good friends, and be there with them with their first experience as well as mine. And it was just all around good experience for my very first Comic-Con. And will I be going back to the Indiana Comic-Con? Of course. Trust me, I've learned quite a few things, not what to do and what to do next year if they decide to have it. And that's been a good learning experience as well. So, excuse me. But anyways, what else is there to say? I had so much fun. I know I cannot stress that enough. I had just so much fun seeing the various cosplayers, and there's even some really funny moments between cosplayers. Like, they had a couple of Doctor Who people kind of get into it. I know they were play acting, but a couple different Doctor Who's. There's like 12 Doctor Who's all together, so it's like 2 different doctors kind of meet up, and it was like, it was pretty cool. Then Batman and Joker kind of like squared off, and it was just fun atmosphere. There was some pretty cool stuff. I mean, like merchandise wise, and it was just, I can't express how fun this was. I mean, if you've never been, you need to experience it at least once, and I want to experience this Comic-Con over and over again. But I do have one complaint about this, is I don't think they were expecting this big of a turnout for today. For this Comic-Con for Saturday, because Saturday was packed. I wasn't there for Sunday or Friday, but Saturday was packed, and they sold out at noon, and it's like, I think they should have made it, the convention side, a little bit bigger than the line side. I really do believe, and it was just, maddening on how many people kind of showed up for this, and it was fun. And when we started to leave the convention area, the costume contest was taken on, so it was just like a hallway filled with cosplayers, and some of them were really, like I said, some of them were just decked out really awesome. Mainly the Game of Thrones people, cosplayers, they were really into it, and there's a few others that were really good as well. There was a lot of Deadpool people dressed up as Deadpool, and there was a few Power Rangers. I mean, there was just wide range. I even seen a Dr. Horrible, which was a real highlight for me, which I regret not getting a picture with Dr. Horrible. But I did get my picture taken with a Stormtrooper, because the Star Wars nerd in me had to have a picture with a Stormtrooper. So, and it was just so much fun. I'm so glad that I got to go and I got to spend it with some really great friends. So that's really all I gotta say. Because if you didn't get to go, please try to find one at least, and you'll never regret it. It was so much fun. That's because if you weren't there, it's kind of hard to explain it when you're not there. I mean, it was just really fun. That's my bottom line right there. It was fun, exciting, nerdy, and it was just all the way around Comic-Con. So, as always, my name is Max James, and I'm going to go geek out.